The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Oh yeah, we're back on Flesh Wound After Dark. It's bikini time. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening. I'm assuming you got your fur bikini on under your shirt.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Swiped it from the Victoria's Secret. It does not fit too well, but you know what? We make it work. So yeah, we're here tonight to talk some bikini films, which should be a lot of fun. Have you ever wanted to see Ron Jeremy and Johnny Five in the same movie? Well, you do. So that happened. That happened. We're talking cinema history here tonight, Todd. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to talk some bikini movies.
Yes. Which should be interesting. One gets talked about pretty often, and one not so much.
One I think you've said in the past month of shows you've brought up like 4 times, which is like I was like, we need to just review it and get it out of your system.
It kind of gets referenced as, some people say, the defining bikini movie, at least of the 90s to 2000s era. But we'll get to that. First, we are going to talk the 1992 film from director Eric Luzel, who we'll talk about. I know Todd knows.
Yes, I do.
Bikini Beach Race. Rev up your engines as the most gorgeous and charming bed race team of all, the Sex Puppets heat up the raceway. Clad in bikinis and sexy lingerie, they'll bump and grind their way to victory aboard comical bedmobiles. Dana Plato stars as the saucy JD, a hydroplane speedboat pilot who's cajoled by 4 college oddballs into joining their bed race team. But watch out, there's dangerous curves ahead as the local mafia pits the odds 100-1 against our zany team. The gears shift as Milo perfects a fantastic invention that blasts this year's event into Grand Prix history. Hang on to your jock straps as Bikini Beach Race swerves you out of control through this rally between the sheets. I really sold that one, didn't I? So Bikini Beach Race, for those of you who are unfamiliar, because this one doesn't get talked about a lot, considering it does have a name star, TV royalty. But first, the director Eric Luzel, if you're unfamiliar, he is a Troma favorite and director, also producer. He directed Class of Nukem High 2 and 3. He also did Lust for Freedom, Fortress of America, and I believe I don't remember if Wild Thing was a Troma movie. I can't remember, but kind of a go-to guy for Troma. And this is
He also was the producer of the Kevin Costner starring Shadows Run Black.
Oh, okay. Yes, his definitive film. Fuck Dances with Wolves.
He also produced Shock 'em Dead's another one.
Nice. So lots of good movie memories. He is notable, of course, Dana Plato, who at this point, because I'll do a little background on the movie before we get into our thoughts on the movie. Dana Plato had just basically gotten in trouble for robbing a Las Vegas video store. And she was paid $6,000 to do this movie. And that's probably a good chunk of the budget. For those unfamiliar, Different Strokes, big sitcom back in the day. She had a
one of the greatest very special episodes of all time, The Bike Shop.
The bike shop episode. Yes, that went down in history. Unfortunately, it's sad because she didn't make it through the 90s. She passed in 1999. Had a lot of problems, although looked healthy, beautiful as ever in this movie. Certainly you look at the end of her career, which ironically we will have another Different Strokes that we'll talk about at some point from her. She fell pretty hard, and it is sad if you dive into that whole story. We also get as our villain, our mafia boss, Ron Jeremy. Yes, that Ron Jeremy as Gino Carlotti in this movie, which Ron did a lot of non triple X work, but most of the times it was just a cameo. He's actually in this movie. He has lines. He's one of the major roles. So that was very cool.
I think this is how he ended up in Trauma also.
That kind of makes sense because I was thinking this is 92 and then yeah, that kind of tracks.
I mean, which we haven't mentioned yet. I will throw out because you did when you're doing the cast. It also has Lisa Gay in her only
Yes.
non-trauma film. There is a couple others later in her career that aren't really, but they're trauma adjacent. And as of right now, I'm not confident to say that trauma won't end up with being the ones to put them out. There's a couple of recent ones that are have like some trauma people behind it that could end up on actually trauma. So
this kind of feels like something that, it's like Lisa Gay, and if your guys out there unfamiliar, she played Malfair in Toxic Avenger 2 and 3. She was in Sergeant Kabuki Man. She was Professor Holt in Class of Nukem High 2, 3, and Return.
Yeah, and she also pops
Terror
up.
Firmer.
Yeah, she's in that. I mean, she's most recognizable for the Marge Simpson-esque hair from Class of Nukem High 2 and 3 as the Doctor.
She's one of those actresses too, though, that stuck with trauma because she was even in Shakespeare's Shitstorm.
Yeah. She also plays Holt in that. Also, she's obvious with the hair, but that's who she's credited as.
She's active again, like she's doing some stuff. So I think that's actually really cool.
But like her last two films. She was in the recent trauma film Bring On the Damned also.
Yeah, it's cool seeing somebody who didn't do a lot outside of trauma, but is still hammering them out. And so this movie was really kind of almost a Miami Film School production. It it used a lot, except obviously Ron Jeremy and Dana Plato. Like a good majority of this was from the Miami Film School. The writer and star Xavier Barquette. He sadly actually died pretty young in 2006 of respiratory failure. So rest in peace to him. And I know that this movie was it's kind of a mess. There's a lot of insert shots, and particularly at the beginning, it's a little distracting because it kind of breaks up the action where it's just like, okay, we're going to cut now to just this random footage, and you can see where this movie did kind of struggle a little bit. It is kind of a mess. Having said that, I still kind of like this movie. We have it's very silly. It's very, over the top. We have this this character, Cheese, who's kind of like Belushi on bath salts. Like he's a very insane character that is maybe a little bit too out there. Lots of toilet humor in this. At the beginning, there's like a lot of like science montages, like Milo gives this girl's vibrator an upgrade, and it turns into basically this this rocket. There's lots of goofy humor. Some of it's kind of like, I don't quite get what we're going with here. Like, Cheese just sprays this girl with butter on a beach for reasons, I guess. Some of it's hit or miss, but Dana Plato is fucking adorable. Like I said, she's not like a Brittany Murphy type where you could just visually see that something was there.
Interesting you didn't choose some other skeleton that we all are thinking.
Fuck you, Todd. But I like this formula. Like, even though it is a bit of a mess in terms of the story and some of the editing, it's just pretty girls all over the place. We're gonna have this big race, and it works. It's good seeing Ron Jeremy in a larger role than we usually did get to see him in a mainstream movie. I've always said I think he's a very funny guy. Well, it is. Nobody was taking dick.
Yeah, I don't know. I go that far, but yeah, it's a perfect Up All Night movie, which is kind of, you know, what After Dark. One of the many things After Dark is kind of representing. I mean, it does feel like that's. I'm sure it aired on there. I mean, it does feel like that. Yeah, and we love those types of movies. Both of our movies tonight are definitely Up All Night type movies.
Yeah, and I mean, plenty of tits in this. There's some stuff that is not aged well. It's still funny, but it hasn't aged well. The asshole character where Cheese just essentially does bad things to the girlfriend and like throws her in the pool and everything. It's there's a couple gags that did actually make me laugh fairly hard in this. It's not an elite level sex comedy, but considering that it's almost a student film, because that is kind of the background on some of this. This was basically a student film that they were able to get Dana Plato for a hell of a discount, and then Ron Jeremy in it. Everything else was just from this Miami film school. I still think it's a lot of fun. If you're not a fan of the genre, which I don't know why you would be watching this anyways, then yeah, stay far away.
They may just be fans of bikinis.
That is true. You might just be.
We know some of you clicked on this just because you saw the word, and that's fine with us.
Who are these fucking bearded douchebags? Where are these titties? Yes, we're sorry, India. There are
no chowdy
titties here. No chudai, or how
there
you say that. Chudai free. I want at some point to get some angry comments on the video. Like, no Bob and Vagine, god damn it. But there is Bob and Vagine.
And well, here we go. So all you perverts, you can watch it on Tubi right now.
For free, yes. I mean, what are your thoughts on this one, Todd? I still think it's hard not to like it. The energy, again, we don't get these, so it's cool to just see like hot girls in bikinis and these Neanderthals just putting them through the ringer.
It's a trope movie. We got to win the big race. It's like a formula we've seen 1,000 times. I mean, that's what these movies were. But you know what? It gave us some entertainment for 30 minutes. Doesn't have to all be 5-star.
90 minutes.
Well, you know, it doesn't have to all be 5 stars. Sometimes just some dumb fun is what, you know, is worth watching. And for me, that's what this is. Like I said, Up All Night, you know. Yeah, I don't know.
Were you a Different Strokes guy?
I watched it growing up till they brought in that goddamn ginger and ruined the show. Although they did that really cool Ghostbusters episode. Yeah, I mean, I was the right age. We had 3 channels back then, if you remember, back in the 1900s. ABC, NBC, and CBS. Not even a Fox network yet. So unless we're watching PBS for some Sesame Street, there wasn't much choice. But yeah, back with the old shriveled white man coming and being the savior to the black children. Yeah, I was a fan.
This movie too. I mean, like I said, I can see how the characters might be annoying to some people, but I just enjoyed the physical comedy. I mean, Cheese getting his pants caught in that girl's car and getting launched, basically for 2 miles. it all worked for me. I think the reviews for this one have been overly harsh through the years. I've heard, I mean, I can't tell you who it was, but somebody listed it's the worst sex comedy ever made, and I was like, well, hold on now. Definitely not. I think it still has aged pretty well.
They were just all mad because you didn't get to see Dana's Play-Dohs.
You do in other things.
But I mean, this would have been. You figure, she just got arrested. You're gonna show them things that gets paid, but not yet.
She's in this movie because I think she was very desperate at that particular moment.
Unfortunately, she gets more desperate, and we'll talk about that later.
Yes, she definitely does.
Different Strokes movie, the unauthorized. They have the reenactment of the video store scene in there.
Yeah,
it's very, that might be required viewing before the other Different Strokes.
She's a tragic figure too, because I believe her kid also self-deleted later on, and I can't remember the details. I'm sure she was in a True Hollywood Story at some point.
There was Different Strokes one. There wasn't, because they always do it as Different Strokes because you have the Todd Bridges stuff. Although he came out on the other side, he came out doing well.
Yeah. Shockingly enough, I think Todd Bridges is still doing well. So
yeah, and he should. I'm still mad he didn't get that wrestling run. One guy that did the celebrity wrestling, I was like, all right, I want to see Todd Bridges work a match.
We're gonna see. Well, you know what, Todd? If anybody wants to see me wrestle, maybe I do wrestle Todd Bridges in UEW special attraction. We need some radio crossover. I will wrestle Todd Bridges, Todd. Maybe I've got a shot. I don't know. Another gag in this that I thought was pretty funny was it actually was part of the vibrator scene, because he gives the vibrator that upgrade, and then it turns into a rocket and blows up the friend's sex doll. The reaction to that was hilarious. I'm gonna be probably, I feel like I'm gonna give this one a higher rating that somebody's gonna think I'm insane. I do think some of the editing at the beginning and the random cutaways were not great, but I think that also smooths out later on. So I liked it. I'm a 3.5. I feel slightly shameful, but it still made me laugh. I don't know.
I can't even argue with you. I was going back and forth between a 3 and a 3.5. You actually talked me up a little. So I'm also going to give it a 3.5. I do. Like I said, as a kid, I liked Ada Plato. Not really one of my first crushes, but as she got older and this era, I really
once you saw that other Different Strokes,
even then that was kind of sad. I was older, but I was, quite a bit older than you, and I knew the downfall, and it was obvious what was coming. So
yeah, for me, it was oh, boobs.
Yeah, I know.
At that point,
I didn't say there was any sad yanking, but I'm just saying it was still this.
You had some tissues up there.
I'm going to save it for when we get to that, because this is, like I said, this is more. Well, I mean, she did have to do it because she needed the money. It's still a little bit happier now before we get to the darker one, so let's keep it light on it, because it is a fun movie. And okay, now if you're a Trauma fan, and I'm not the hugest fans of some of the sequels from this era, I always call this the cartoony era. I do like the Nukem High ones. They're a little over the top. But yeah, and I think, it's a look at, I mean, he'd already done two trauma movies at this point. So, because we have Lust for Freedom and Fortress of America. But yeah, this is like the one that's like in the middle. That's not a trauma movie, but
We're also kind of getting into a period where the sex comedy starts to calm a little bit before the comeback with American Pie and
yeah,
Road Trip and everything at the end of the decade. Like I said, heavy on the silliness, which all sex comedies have that. I think these characters are more exaggerated than normal.
it's probably a little less SAE than some of the earlier ones, like some of the 80s ones too.
There are some cameras in girls' showers.
Yeah, that's. I
Like
was referring to some of the other elements, but we do still have that.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I guess having Ron Jeremy in it at this point too is something it has going against it. But
yeah, well, hopefully that didn't. Huh. Oh, poor Dana.
you know what's funny? Like you forget, like everybody always talks about, oh, Ron Jeremy's that fat porn star, and it's like, well, he wasn't really fat at one point. I mean,
I still remember the first time I saw it, like in early, I was like, holy shit, this porno has skinny Ron Jeremy in it. Like that's what I referred to him as, because I was used to the hedgehog, not skinny Ron. And the first time I saw it, it was so confusing.
He always sweat a lot, but like,
he was a greasy Italian. You could see it. That's what he looked like, even though he was, well.
There was a certain point where I'm sure the girls were wondering, like, did he come or is he just sweating all over my back? God, I grossed out, Todd.
I know. Can I say sweaty Italian or is that racist? Now I don't even know.
That's probably a little racist, Todd. But I'm Italian. I'm not offended. Part Italian. So yeah, 3.5. I know that's high, but I don't know. This one just hit right.
No, I'm not. I'm with you.
Yeah. So there you go. Check it out on Tubi, right?
Yep. Check it out on Tubi.
So up next, the movie that, as Todd has pointed out, has been referenced a lot as of late, and
I know you just been itching to watch the new Blu-ray too.
Yeah, absolutely. And
this was actually, because I left this out because I knew I wanted to watch it since I've got it. It was on the shelf you and Kruger took out. That's where it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kruger did German suplex me.
You and Kruger took out. Don't.
No. That was Kruger.
You allowed him. You allowed him to crack your back. Is it?
So I was complaining because I did have, like, my back was a little jammed up. Kruger just like, I can crack your back. Like, okay, cool. I wasn't expecting to get German suplexed into your shelf. So that was like Kruger's fault. I should have known the German suplex was coming, but not my fault. I did not say, yes, Kruger, you may drop me on my head into Todd's shelf. Did not say that. So.
All right, well, let's talk.
All right, so from 1995 and director Fred Olen Ray, we have Bikini Drive-In. And in this film, Kim Taylor inherits her grandfather's drive-in theater. She must raise $25,000 over one weekend or the bank will take the property from her. Unfortunately, she also has to deal with pesky capitalist J.B. Winston. And yeah, sorry I was stalling there. I realized they don't have the description on the back of the Blu-ray, but nonetheless, that is the plot line. So the genesis of this movie, Fred Olen Ray had made Dinosaur Island with co-director Jim Wynorski.
I love Dinosaur Island. That's one of my favorites.
We will have to cover that. So
we haven't. Go.
We've never reviewed Dinosaur Island.
I thought we talked it after the D. Well, After Dark coming soon.
I mean, we just did Dinosaur Valley Girls, but no, we'd never done Dinosaur Island. So yeah, he made that movie with Jim Wynorski for Roger Corman, and of course, Roger Corman paid them, and Fred Olen Ray took the money he made and he put it into this project, Bikini Drive-In, while apparently and he financed 4 out of the 5 days of shoots with that paycheck. Jim Wynorski apparently went to Hawaii with a couple of hot chicks, so I'm going to say Jim Wynorski might have gotten the better deal, but Fred Olen Ray delivered for us, so kudos on that. And essentially, this goes back a little further. After shooting Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Fred Olen Ray was trying to get this film made called Passion Pit. He and Ross Hagen had been putting that together. Of course, Ross is also in this movie. And that was meant to be a autobiographical film about Fred Olen Ray's life at the drive-in in the late 60s and 70s. And it was going to have an Expendables cast of drive-in favorites, which we've kind of talked about it before. Like, one thing that Fred Olen Ray has in common with a Rob Zombie or a Quentin Tarantino is sometimes taking certain actors that their careers have unjustly faded and giving them second life. And Fred Olen Ray was going to use a lot of people who had been appearing in many of his movies. I mean, we've talked about it before, like Robert Quarry, who had a lot of issues at the end of his life, being taken advantage of, unfortunately, by some people that kind of became his handlers through the convention scene. And, he had a lot of issues at the end of his life, but Fred Olen Ray managed to still give guys like that work and, keep them active towards the end of their career. And I think that's really awesome. And a lot of these movies mean a lot to me. And I think it's cool seeing them come out on Blu-ray and realizing, like, fuck, these movies really did have a lot of fans. A lot of people watched them. And I'm sure people like Robert Quarry or Cameron Mitchell or some of these people, they obviously did bigger movies back in their heyday, but they still made those memories for a lot of us later into their careers in the 80s. And so that film didn't happen. Passion Pit didn't happen, but later on, the location and some of the story threads did make it into Bikini Drive-In. And so obviously, Fred Olen Ray made a lot of bikini movies, a lot of softcore films. And, this, I guess you could say, still falls into that somewhat. But this is kind of the king of those movies, because this one is just the love, and the love of the drive-in really just comes through in spades in this film. I've talked about it before because I did work with Conrad Brooks at one point. I would argue that this is, in terms of acting, which Conrad, not a great actor, this is probably the best role he's ever had, if I'm being honest, because he didn't exactly have much of a role in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Conrad had an unusual career when that movie blew up, and he started making his own movies, which, woof. If you've ever watched the ones he's directed, they're rough. But he's very likable in this. I think it's probably the best thing he's ever done in terms of his acting goes. And we get other favorites from the drive-in era and, just film history in general. Gordon Mitchell, who was a Peplum icon. I mean, he was in Atlas against the Cyclops, which he starred in. Interesting trivia with that movie, that also featured Fabio, little baby Fabio. He was a baby in Atlas against the Cyclops in that movie. So he made his film debut at like 1, I think. But he was also in Giant of Metropolis, and he went on to do stuff like he did Evil Spawn for Fred Olen Ray, but he was also in Eric the Viking, The Killer Likes Candy, Frankenstein 80. He also did Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks, and Endgame for Joe D'Amato. I mean, Gordon Mitchell, my God. I mean, he's touched so many of us. It also has Hoke Howell. And if you don't know that name, he did a ton of stuff for Fred Olen Ray, Alienator, Teenage Exorcist. He was also in Humanoids from the Deep. Usually smaller roles, but he did a lot of stuff. Ross Hagen, who I already mentioned, he was a regular, but he was also in some great movies like Wonder Women, Five the Hard Way, a lot of biker stuff, Angels, Wild Women, Hellcats. Just such an amazing cast in this. But we also get some of the softcore icons. Ashley Ray, who we've covered a lot as of late, so I won't run down her credits. But we also get Richard Gabai, who we as we know, Salt of the Party Nerds and Hot Under the Collar, and he had a great career. Michelle Bauer is in this. Nikki Fritz, one of my personal favorites. Rest in peace. We lost her a few years ago. Roxanne Blaze, who plays Carrie, she was also an adult film star in films like Sticky Lips and Heaven Sent, but she had a pretty solid, brief career doing Beach Babes from Beyond, Virtual Encounters, some softcore stuff. It's hard to even run down the cast because there's so many people in this. David F. Friedman, drive-in fucking icon in here as the main villain, JB Winston. I love this movie so much. Yes, it's got its skin, but I really do think there's more to it than that. This had a good USA Up All Night run as well. For a long time, that was like the cut of the movie. Like people were bootlegging the USA Up All Night cut. So obviously you get a lot of good skin in this. So I recommend the uncut Blu-ray. It's also cool seeing Nikki Fritz. She plays kind of a frumpy, nerdy character. Doesn't stop her from shedding those clothes later in the movie, though, so don't worry. But this isn't just the bump and grind kind of thing. There's great skin, but this movie I think is very funny, while still, delivering a solid story. What do you think of this one, Todd? Is this kind of like the king of the bikini movies?
Oh yeah, this is a favorite. I've always enjoyed this one. It is. I mean, like in general, we've brought it up many times. We like movies that take place in the movies. Obviously, all goes with the drive-in also. So it's that on top, and it's a bikini movie. It's like it does everything. Like you hear the name Bikini Drive-In, this is what you want. Again, I mentioned our last one about a trope. This is another trope. The gang of fucking people got to get together and raise money to save the community center or whatever it is, and which that's
It's at least half of sex comedies.
Yeah,
have that storyline.
So it's familiar. It's one of those things. It's just like, yeah, it's just the trope, but it works. I mean, who doesn't want to save the drive-in?
The cameos in this were hilarious. Like Jim Wynorski just pops up
in
a car at the drive-in, and you just see his date looking at the screen. That's the biggest monster I've ever seen. And then Jim Wynorski, thanks, babe. And then he just like shoves her head down into his lap. It was so funny. I thought the bit where Michelle Bauer is getting like her massage, and then he like squirts the it's like, did you? It's like, no. I think this movie's fucking hilarious. Fred Olen Ray himself has a small role as the DJ, who gets a strip tease, some like, just like Tarantino sucking Salma Hayek's foot. Like, you got to get in there. He didn't do that too much, but I don't blame him at all. And yeah, man, I just, this one's a lot of fun. I would even dare say I'd recommend it to people that maybe aren't as interested in some of the other more sex-centric bikini movies. This one, I think, is a great film. I would have been curious to see if he had gotten that Passion Pit movie made, how different it would have been. I'm sure it probably would have been a little lighter on the skin, but I don't think it hurts this at all. I think there's just enough we all kind of like and want that out of these kinds of movies, but it never becomes like, okay, now we're into another 5-minute sex scene. Uh, I love it. I think looking at it now and some of the people that we've lost, well, a good chunk, unfortunately, that are no longer with us. I mean, uh, David F. Friedman is just responsible for so much, and he's got a nice role here. He's got a little more than a cameo, so it's cool seeing him, not being an actor, but I think doing a really good job in this. You've got Goodbye, Michelle Bauer, who is, again, she's sort of the scream queen that is duped into going to this drive-in event thinking that she's going to meet the president. I thought all of that was really hilarious. And yeah, I'd say go into this one if you're a fan of any of the people I mentioned, just relive some history. And once again, Conrad Brooks, best acting gig he's ever had. Although one thing that I experienced personally, and he does it all the time, is this weird stuff with his hands. Just watch him when he acts, because he does it in this movie too. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not suggesting you go watch a bunch of Conrad Brooks movies, but it's something that he just, I don't know, thought was a good idea. Don't know. So if I'm rating this on a scale of, I guess we can still call it a softcore movie, sex comedy, love letter to the drive-in is what I would say more than anything. I'm 5 stars. I love it. I don't really have anything to complain about. I think this is exactly what it needed to be. Mission accomplished. I think Fred Olen Ray hits a home run with this.
Even with the trope that's in, like you said, 90% of them, it still works. It's still fun. It's a great time. It's a 5 for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured. I was like, I know this one's gonna be a jack fest.
Yeah. And it's not streaming anywhere. You can't even purchase it digitally. So if you want to
No.
grab it, you got to grab the physical.
Yeah.
So
And I feel like I have done this before, because he's another person who passed away recently. Peter Spellos
yeah,
plays Carl, one of the goons. If you don't know that name, you certainly know the face. He was
absolutely.
in a lot of movies, and he was always great. Like, no matter what his role, and I mean, a lot of times he would play the heavy. He was always really good. And yeah, this is essentially an Expendables of drive-in. I didn't even mention like the beautiful Becky LeBeau and
Yeah.
Tane McClure, Deborah Dutch. I mean, like I said, it's a huge cast of names. And celebrate the ones that we still have with us. And Fred Olen Ray's still doing it. I mean, his son's directing, building his own legacy. I just think that's awesome. So Todd, maybe next time Dinosaur Island.
I got another one that I can't believe we haven't done yet. I confirmed it while we were doing it. So we'll talk.
There's a lot that we haven't done on YouTube.
Well, there's a big one, and I don't want to say what it is because it's one of my favorites.
Okay. Well, stay tuned. And once again, you can go over to MakeFlix and pick up this beautiful Blu-ray. I don't think there's any bare boobs, but close. So, but Bikini Drive-In, highly recommended if you're a fan of this genre. This is essential viewing. On that note, guys,
You were going to show the cover, then you didn't do it.
I was making sure there was no titties. There's not.
I know, but then you didn't
There
show
you go.
it.
I'm showing it.
You confirmed there's no boobs, and then you didn't show it.
They're probably looking at it in the graphic, but there you go. Bikini Drive-In. It's beautiful. And I don't know if the signed edition's still available, but Michelle Bauer signed it. So.
Yeah, they're discontinuing the signed editions. They've already said that.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. I think it's just too much hassle. So if there's any left, get them now.
Yeah, grab them while you still can. You won't be sorry with this movie. So, Ted, on that note, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1, and we do have some exclusive, early, uncensored After Dark content on there. Last tournament on the left, a lot of that good stuff. We don't do super chats, so we appreciate all the support you give us. And yeah, on that note, good night, and may the drive-in live forever.
Money's on the dresser. Good night.